So today's topic, this is going to be a broad one and a fun one, and it's going to be based on a dream that I had. Now I tweeted this, so some of you might have already seen this. I had a dream last night or maybe this morning actually, I don't even know, but I woke up and I remembered the dream that James Harrison. Who is James Harrison? James Harrison is I think he's retired now finally, but because he was older, but he was a defensive player and he played mostly for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a linebacker, and he was great. He was one of the best. I mean, he will be in the Hall of Fame. He was one of the best defensive players in all of football. I mean, he was up there. And man, I mean, that Steeler defense that brought them the Super Bowl in 06 when they came from behind. They were a wild card team, barely made the playoffs, and their defense just gelled together, and they dominated, and they won the Super Bowl. So anyway, I had a dream that James Harrison ran for office. I don't know what he ran for exactly. Again, this is a dream, so it's only so clear. But James Harrison ran for some kind of office, and he was a huge progressive, and he built a ton of momentum, and everyone was so stoked for James Harrison running for office. And I woke up and I was just like, what the hell was that? And I have no idea what James Harrison's personal politics are. I have no clue. The only thing I've ever seen from him where he was remotely political was, he's been outspoken against Roger Goodell, which I appreciate. And then he doesn't like participation trophies. I don't even know if that counts as being remotely political. I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. But point is, I have no idea what this dude's personal politics are. No freaking clue. But I think what that dream was getting at is, my subconscious was telling me that, man, whether we like it or not, we need some kind of leadership. You know what I mean? Like we have the progressive movement is growing, slow but sure. There are people that are realizing that we have a serious problem in this country, and incrementalism isn't going to solve it. And that's where I'm at. You know, I'm not... I don't consider the, quote, centrists are... Like, they just don't... Like, they entertain this notion that doing the same thing and expecting things to be different will somehow work. And I don't understand how they entertain that theory when you look at the world we're in right now. We are mirroring, and I know that we've talked about this so many times, we are mirroring the Great Depression in so many ways. What happened after that was the rise of labor. What happened after that was that FDR realized, you know what, we're going to have an uprising in this country if we don't do something. So what did he do? He created Social Security and a jobs program. And why did all that happen? Because we had organized socialist parties. We had an organized labor movement. We had all that stuff going on. And we got all these things even though we were told that the government was broke, that everything was broke, everyone was broke. No. When they need the money for something, they got it. When they need the money for something, they got it. We got the money for universal health care. We're already spending it. We got the money to have an actual Green New Deal, to have a jobs program, to have free college. We got the money for all that. So we need some kind of leadership, and we need a real organized labor movement. And I know that's easier said than done. I know that's not easily done, because I don't know exactly how to get it. But, you know, in my song, Time for Revolution, one of the lines is, go tell the DSA, GP, and SA it's time for revolution. Now, are there more groups that should be in that cluster too? Yes. But I picked those three groups because they rhyme. And I'm referring to Democratic Socialists for America, I'm referring to Socialist Alternative, and I'm referring to the Green Party. The point of that line is saying, hey, we got all these groups, we gotta fucking gel, and we gotta kind of get a common cause. And you know, this idea that we can take a lesson or two from the Tea Party, I think in theory, there's some, and when I say take a lesson from the Tea Party, I mean, obviously we disagree with the Tea Party about everything. I just mean that the Tea Party, they really coalesced and just took over the Republican Party. But this idea that we can take some notes out of their playbook, that's a little, well, that's well-intentioned, and I think strategically there's some truth in that. Overall, that's not going to get us too far. Because if we met with the Tea Party, let's say that some big Tea Party representative met with some of the progressives, and we said, hey, look, we disagree on everything politically, but, you know, you guys want to end the wars at least. We have that in common. So can you give us some pointers here? You know, because you guys don't like the Democratic establishment either. Maybe you'll like us a little better. Who knows? But can you give us some pointers? They would say, all right, pointer number 1, get a fuckload of money from the Koch brothers. And then we'd be like, oh, that's not, yeah, we can't do that. That's not going to happen for us. Do you have another idea? And they're like, well, shit, that's the important first step. We can't do that first step. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. What I'm saying is our movement is a real grassroots movement. The Tea Party was not. So making that comparison only gets us so far. So my question is, how do we start to gel? And I know that's very broad. We're not going to answer it all today. But, man, how do we start to gel? Let me turn it over to you guys. I think what we need to do is we need to act locally in our communities, and we need to build alliances kind of like what Gail McLaughlin did. Because what I just described, Gail McLaughlin did that on a small level in Richmond. And if she did it, we can do it. And when I say we, I mean everybody in their own community. Because I think if every community does something like that, and we start seeing at the local level how that type of cooperation can work, well, then we're going to do it on a big level too. And, you know, structurally, that is technically what the Tea Party did. They had a lot of money behind them that we don't have. But they also had a ground game that started at the smallest level. It started in city council. It started on school boards. It started on running for mayor, whatever else. Chris is saying something similar. We need a new rainbow coalition like when the Black Panthers teamed up with Southern white groups for a common cause. It's time for Plan B, Placone Pasta 2020. You don't want me in office. Pasta, on the other hand, needs to run for city council. Me, you don't want in office, trust me. Centrist or secretly right-wing? Chris, I think that's true for most of them. I think others, they don't realize that that strategy just isn't going to work. I think there's a lot of people, and I guess when we say Democrats, we need to be real specific about what we mean. Or when we say centrist, excuse me, we need to be real specific by what we mean. I think there's a lot of centrists out there. They're sticking with the Democrats because they think it's their best bet. And they're sticking with the establishment because they think it's their best bet. And I think we're just at a moment where incrementalism is not going to work. And that's an understatement. Like, it's just not. Doing the same thing and expecting different results is literally the definition of being insane. And this whole idea that, like, well, the most important thing is getting the fascist out. Look, I am with you that Trump is a special level of despicable as a person. He is, the fact that he's president is gross. I mean, it's so gross. This plutocratic billionaire who has been a scam artist his entire life and is a TV show host is our president. That's ridiculous. Of course. It's ridiculous. I don't think he has any actual convictions on anything, but he surrounds himself with Nazi sympathizers. It's disgusting. But something got us to this point. We weren't in a hunky-dory place and then Trump showed up. Something got us to Trump. And if you don't address what got us to Trump, we're just going to get more Trumps, and they're going to be worse next time. We can get rid of him, and then we're going to get a worse Trump in 4 to 8 years. That's what's going to happen. So this idea that, well, we just need to defeat Trump, and it doesn't matter what we defeat him with, we just got to defeat him, that's short-sighted and misdirected. Even though I think a lot of those people, their heart's in the right place. Some of them, not so much. Some centrists, they're just Republicans that don't want to be called Republicans. And at the establishment level, that's the case. They're just Republicans that don't want to be called Republicans. They're conservatives in denial. As Marcus coined, they're cappuccino conservatives. And it'd be nice if they just went over to the GOP, but when the Democrats are behaving like a center-right party too, well, They got their part. It's like what I say. Like, if you're a conservative, I don't know what you have to complain about. That's why conservative talk shows, they need to make up issues to be outraged about something. Because every real issue in this country is considered a progressive issue. Like, every single one. I mean, just go down the list. Healthcare, education, fracking, the environment in general, living wages, college, debt, racism, sexism, homophobia. What's conservative causes? Are college campuses too PC? Are they too PC? I'm worried that they're too PC, and these kids with all their PC-ness are just going to be PCing everywhere. There's not a couple rich white guys in a think tank made that shit up. That's what happened. A couple rich white guys in a think tank made that shit up. The last time they were in college, women didn't have the right to vote yet, or as they like to call it, when America was great, and they're making this shit up. If you are politically conservative, if you're a conservative who thinks gay people are human beings, you got the Democrats. If you're a conservative who likes to go to the megachurch on Sunday, you got the Republicans. If you're a conservative who takes Ayn Rand seriously and doesn't masturbate enough, you got the Libertarians. Like, they got everything. Progressives, we got nothing. We got nothing. We got the Green Party, which is still trying to frame an identity. And and some people are trying to enter. Some are seeing a little bit of success with it. Some not so much. But there's so many things set up in the Democratic Party to prevent that from happening. Yet we have all these groups that are doing amazing things. All these groups that are just doing beautiful, amazing things. And if we came together, I mean, let me see what you guys are saying. Edwin, municipal broadband is the most important issue. We need to get our message to others. Then we can gel like Gail McLaughlin. I like your thoughts, Edwin. I don't like to say one issue is the most important and one's less important. I mean, municipal internet is my cause of choice because I've been paying attention to it for a long time. I've been involved in the media reform movement since 2004. Which then goes into connectivity issues. So I've been paying attention to net neutrality and municipal broadband since 2004. I see the need for it. And it's something that I can speak to a lot because, you know, it affects my livelihood, quite frankly. It affects my ability to do this show. It affects everyone's ability to get messages out there. And as a content creator, dominantly in the internet sphere, that's my wheelhouse. So municipal internet is my cause of choice. Other people's causes of choice might be something different. Maybe animal rights is your bag. Maybe fracking is your situation. You know, especially I know some of you are up in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's a huge anti-fracking swell going on in Pittsburgh. And when I still lived there, you know what we did in the community where my parents live? We had a really progressive mayor who unfortunately passed away not too terribly long ago. He was a friend, and he got a drilling ban. He got a drilling ban in the community because he rallied for it. He got people behind him. The movement got behind him. He ran for mayor. He frickin' won. And I sleep a little easier at night knowing that there is a drilling ban where my parents live. So, you know, talking about coalitions, talking about acting locally. There's an example right there. Rutherford points out, most people want instant gratification, but you need to think of politics in terms of 10 to 12-year plans. That is true. People give up on movements after 1, 2, or 4 years. I think that's true in a lot of cases, not in all. And I think that if we had a more clearly defined movement, it would help. But, again, getting back to what I just said earlier, every issue is ours. Every real issue is ours. Like every single one falls on us. Like if you're a progressive, every single issue that's wrong with this country and the world. I know a lot of you aren't even in the United States. Some of you guys are watching from Australia. Some are watching from. Shout out your countries. I know that Platypus is here. She lives in Australia. Where else are people from? Let me know. Chris points out, when's the last time you saw people marching in the streets for war, tax cuts, deregulation, fracking? It's because no average Joe wants it. Are you saying that average Joes don't want... Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. When have you... Okay. I see what you're saying, Chris. I misunderstood. Yeah, when's the last time you saw people marching in the streets for war, or tax cuts, or deregulation, or fracking? Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen the, let's drill, baby, drill, baby. That'd be the most boring march in the history of ever. Let's drill, baby, drill. We're already drilling. Well, let's keep it up. Why are you out here? You're wasting an afternoon. War. We already got like 8 of them. How many do you want? Well, let's keep it up. War. Like, what's your problem? You have a serious problem. So we got to figure out how to gel. I don't have all the answers for that. None of us do. It's not an easy question to answer right away. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your